thanks again for dropping by the channel. If you're new to the channel, if you like the content, please hit subscribe. Share the video if you can, because it really does help support this channel. Now let's get into this. So obviously there at the start of the month, we got word that Dillian Whyte, the suspension, quote unquote, that was placed on him by UCAD is gone. So he's free to fight again. Obviously we've seen him on the AJ Ruiz 2 undercard where he fought Marius Vac. Didn't look great in that fight, it has to be said. But obviously coming into the new year, he's fresh to fight again. Obviously he's not going to get the shot at Wilder this year, so he's probably going to stay active. And obviously he's been fighting on pay-per-view last couple of fights. Obviously that's going to be something that's going to keep up. So a lot of people are discussing who his next opponent's going to be. And touching on what I said in my previous video, don't know what order these are going to go up in, so previous video might be the next video. But Eddie Hearn basically gave an interview with IFL, and in that video he was discussing various fighters and, you know, where he's looking to place them and what kind of show he's looking to get them on in 2020. Now he says that April the 18th is a potential date for Dillian Whyte's next fight. Now one of the names he's thrown out there is Alexander Povetkin as a possible opponent if Whyte returns in April. But another name he has here is Andy Ruiz as a potential opponent. Okay, now Whyte versus Povetkin, I don't really like that fight. I think Povetkin really showed his age against Michael Hunter, and I wouldn't mind seeing him rematch Michael Hunter, because when I watched it originally I thought Povetkin won it. The morning after I watched it again, I thought Hunter won that fight. I thought Hunter was unlucky not to get the decision, and I think Povetkin really showed his age. He showed his age in that Michael Hunter fight, and I think that someone like Dillian Whyte, even though I think Povetkin will be competitive in that fight, I see Dillian Whyte just taking Povetkin out. I just think Povetkin, the legs are 40 years old, they're not what they used to be. I don't think his punch resistance is even the same anymore. He was hurt several times by Hunter in that fight. So I think Povetkin versus Whyte 2 or 3 years ago maybe, but now no. Ruiz against Dillian Whyte, that's a fight I'd be more intrigued at. I always felt, I don't know if I still feel this now, but I always felt that Andy Ruiz, pre the rematch with Anthony Joshua, would have beat Dillian Whyte. I think that Andy Ruiz would have counter-punched the head off Dillian Whyte. I think he would have got under a lot of Dillian Whyte's shots. I think he would have peppered him with hooks. The speed difference, I know both guys don't have the quickest feet, but the hand speed difference is immense. Both guys haven't got the greatest defense. You know, both guys, I think, I'd say Ruiz has probably the better chin. Dillian Whyte's probably the harder puncher, but Ruiz isn't feather-fisted. I still think Andy Ruiz should say the pre-rematch Anthony Joshua would have done Dillian Whyte in. No, I would have confidently picked Andy Ruiz to beat Dillian Whyte, but I don't know if we have that Andy Ruiz anymore. You know, he knew what was on the line in that Joshua rematch. He knew what was happening. He knew the game plan. He knew he couldn't have known that game plan any better. And what does he do? He comes in damn near 20 pounds heavier and just doesn't do anything really. You know, just lets himself get outboxed. You know, I think Ruiz showed what that little bit of money can do. He admitted it himself. You know, his preparation wasn't ideal. You know, he was partying, he was eating a lot more. When someone gets that amount of money, and as I said in several videos after the fight, he's had 2 massive paydays. You know, I think he got over 10 million for the rematch. He got something like 7 million for the first fight. Is the hunger there for Ruiz in terms of boxing? Is the hunger still there? You know, if he was to take a Dillian Whyte fight, I would imagine he'd get well paid. I'd imagine pay-per-view. I'd imagine that, you know, he's obviously going to be known to the UK audience as the guy who beat Anthony Joshua. He's the guy who rematched Anthony Joshua, so he'd be well known. It'd be definitely pay-per-view. But would it be just another paycheck for Andy Ruiz? Would we get the Andy Ruiz who is going to bite down his gum shield, look to counter punch, look to throw those fast explosive combinations? Or would we get the Andy Ruiz who rocks up, you know, with his Mexican hat on, you know, damn near career heaviest? Will we get that Andy Ruiz? Or will we get an Andy Ruiz switched on, motivated? That I don't know. You know, that I honestly don't know. And that's... I do want to see that fight. I would like to see it. As I said, if this was the Andy Ruiz, you know, who fought Anthony Joshua the first time, or, you know, Anthony Joshua who fought guys like Joseph Parker or something like that, I confidently pick him over Dillian Whyte. But is that same Ruiz there? And when I say that, I don't mean is he shot. I mean, is the hunger still there? You know, the hunger's there, but is it for boxing? I don't know. So that's what I asked the question. I would like to see this fight, though. I still would. I think it's a very good fight. It's a very good fight for Dillian Whyte. You know, if he can go, especially if he does a job at Andy Ruiz. I mean, let that sink in, okay? We know Anthony Joshua outboxed Andy Ruiz, won majority of the rounds in that fight. But the first fight he was dropped 4 times. And he went the distance with him the second fight. Imagine Dillian Whyte goes in there and really puts a hurting on Andy Ruiz. Maybe gets him out of there. Think how good that would look for Dillian Whyte should he go in there and maybe say rematch Joshua somewhere down along the line this year coming or something like that. It'd look good for Dillian Whyte. You know, I think it would help his stock rise. Dillian Whyte's stock is rising exponentially. But I think if he was to go there and, you know, do a job on Andy Ruiz, it might even put more pressure on Deontay Wilder to go and fight him. Even though I think that, you know, the Wilder fight, I still don't know why we haven't seen that fight. You know, I would confidently pick Wilder to beat Dillian Whyte. I don't even think it'd be very competitive. I don't think Deontay Wilder would have much of a hard time with Dillian Whyte, which is why I'm surprised we still haven't seen it. But that's a topic for another video. Those are my thoughts on this. Let me know what you think down below of this fight. Andy Ruiz versus Dillian Whyte. What do you think? Do you think we'll ever see the hunger for boxing back in Ruiz? You know, the hunger, the drive, the tenacity that we had in that first Anthony Joshua fight. Do you think we'll ever see that? Or do you think now Ruiz has made his money, he secured his family? Do you think we're going to see the snicker eating, you know, Mexican hat wearing Andy Ruiz just coming to, you know, do the bare minimum? Let me know what you think down below. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like. Subscribe, of course, if you're new to the channel. Share it if you found it useful. It helps the channel out a lot. And as always, I will talk to you after.